Hello and welcome to the show your parents, the PTA, and the asleep don't want you to hear. The Helios blog. Today, Keeko Rage Quiz, the whatever podcast. This should be a hoot.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
I actually have an opinion.
Go.
So,
I actually have an opinion.
I saw that, I think it was yesterday's or Tuesday's stream.
You know when a girl talks like that, that only truth and wisdom will come out of it.
It was like an Andrew Tate video.
Yeah.
And he said that he wants a virgin over like a girl with like a higher body count, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
That just screams
Insecurity.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
I did
whoa.
the same thing
Hold
last
on.
time and they hated me for it.
I'll
Let me-
keep it more PG.
Let me play
Okay.
this one more.
So you're saying if an older guy wants a virgin like her,
You're not a virgin. I mean, you may be
if
born
an older
again,
guy,
but
hold on, if
it's a
an older
different
guy,
subject.
Very funny, very funny, very funny. Ha 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 ha. Again, these girls, they think that they're funny when they make jokes. Like female comedians. 99% of female comedians aren't funny. Because they're... What's the word? They're crass. They think that that's what masculinity is. But that isn't what masculinity or humor is, for that matter. Having lots of tattoos and high end count doesn't make you cool or interesting. It makes you crass.
ladies, if an older guy wants a virgin like Grace, that makes him a... That's what you're saying right now.
Okay, he's like, what, pushing 40? So how many 30?
I like that she said that while spinning her neck.
by
Say
40
she meets a
who's
38-year-old.
speaking, you?
She meets a 38-year-old. Does that make him a...
She. How old are you?
23.
23, 38. That's like
What?
how big of a difference? I don't know. I didn't go
Well,
to college.
Andrew Tate is
Disaster.
36. Okay, let's just.
He's
make-
pushing 40. How many 36-year-old virgins are there? Probably not many.
Yeah, but he wants to date like young baddies.
He wants someone who's illegal. That sounds like someone who grooms.
Nah.
Because
Come on. Again, what she's describing, it's a classic tactic, okay? It's how would I describe it? It's like Aesop's fable, you know, the sour grapes thing. So like the fox can't reach the grapes anyway, so he says those were sour grapes anyway. Or, you know, one of the laws of power, which is disdain what you can't have. So the principle is, if you can't have somebody, you try to take them down, right? So what she's saying is, I can't compete with the girls that this guy wants. Therefore, I'm going to attack the guy's character so that he is shamed into going for girls like me and not for the girls that he actually wants / can get. He's not an evil, bad person for doing what his biology wants him to go for. If you've seen the OkCupid studies, right, where they just analyzed like data about what guys find most attractive, at every age they find 21, 22-year-olds the most attractive. Whereas girls, they find guys that are between 4 and 6 years older than themselves the most attractive at all age groups. That represents a natural biological difference in inclination. Okay?
she's
This is
forgetting a part
such-
of what
I'm
Andrew
so
Tate was
fucking tired
saying.
of hearing this
He
shit on
wasn't
the
just saying
podcast.
a virgin. He was saying somebody under the age of 20. So it was like 18 to 20 was his gap ratio.
she go to the bar with you?
No.
He said his ideal one was a 19-year-old when he started saying
That's-
She ain't getting a
adult
big
life.
bar.
Newsflash.
That's not why he said it. He said it because she's less likely to have a high end count, which means she's a better bet for paternity. And also, the divorce rate for a girl with an end count of 0 before marriage is about 10%.
for you, that's a lot of guys.
We know, we already went over it, and that's,
Yeah.
but that doesn't make it right.
Well, it
it
doesn't make
is
it
right.
wrong just because you think it's wrong.
Maybe
Indeed.
A
That-
lot of
this has
girls'
been-
ideals is rich guys, but
That's
are we
fine.
allowed-
Does
we
it
can't,
hasn't
like,
doesn't
yell at
play
people,
on
right?
their age though. I mean,
Was
I'm
he
not-
old enough to drive when she was born?
What does
Oh my lord.
that have to do
That's a
with
good
anything?
point. That's like a, it's like a way to tell the age gap is like too
Just
extreme.
because
No, it's not. That's just okay. Let me say the meme. I got to say the meme. That's just like your opinion, man.
guys feel like it's wrong doesn't make it wrong.
Indeed.
This has been the norm throughout all of human history. Older guys with resources go for younger women. It's fine. That's human nature.
Younger adult women.
Yes.
That's right.
Because
Exactly. Younger adult women.
they
Debatable.
would go for a 14-year-old if they could.
No,
so
No, they wouldn't actually. Historically, that didn't happen. The only time that happened, and it was rare, was arranged marriages. And even in that case, they wouldn't have children then. They would wait until she was older. And, you know, unless they were truly desperate for an heir, which is, again, very rare.
next best thing.
Come on.
This is
Erroneous.
progression. This is projection.
It's not. How is it projection? I want a 14-year-old. If anything, you're projecting right
What?
now, not me. That's.
Okay,
I'm just telling you what human nature is like and what it's been like throughout history. Men go
And
for
I'm
younger
telling you,
women.
it doesn't just because it's
Doesn't
human
make-
nature
doesn't
doesn't mean
make
it's right.
them- doesn't
Human
make them
nature is also
pedophiles.
men go out for human nature and don't know how to keep it in their pants. That's still human nature.
That's who you choose. Like, again, if you were more competitive, you might be able to find a guy who would actually commit to you. But unfortunately, because your encounter is astronomical, the chances of you finding that are zero.
It doesn't mean to make it right. Just because it's human nature doesn't mean it's right.
There's plenty of women who can't keep their legs
There's
closed
kids who,
either.
Indeed.
who
Keeko,
grow up
there's
who are
plenty
raised
of
and they're
women who
gonna
can't
be
keep their
born
legs
against
closed.
Christian.
There's plenty of women who can't keep their legs closed. Doesn't make that right.
That's
Just
right.
because you're, like she said, a born again virgin doesn't mean just you can have all these new opinions of keeping your legs closed or you guys.
What do you mean you can't have those opinions? And she thinks that she's born again. That doesn't mean that she actually is born again. She could actually be a girl with zero end count. She just can't fathom that this could exist.
No, you just said there's plenty of guys who can't keep it in their pants.
I
That
was-
doesn't make it right.
I was making
That's
a
not
synonym
okay.
for. I didn't want to say on here is what I meant.
Wait,
By
what
keeping
are
their
we-
pants, I was
what are
saying
we
they
even
take it
talking
on
about?
unwilling suspects. is
How
what I
did
was
this
saying.
What?
devolve
Nah,
into?
because
what
I was
are
saying
you talking about?
that's what I was saying earlier, but I was trying to use a synonym and not just use that word, just throwing it out there. But I was saying that's why you were saying human nature. There's men who like younger women by human nature. I was also saying it's human nature with how big a percentage of men we have who go out and women.
Actually, no. That statistically is not the case. It's actually quite rare.
Doesn't mean
Whoa,
it's
whoa,
correct.
okay, hold on.
I don't know a single guy.
Okay.
You
That's
don't, I would
too real.
guarantee you. I would
I
guarantee you.
was
Some of your close friends have probably assaulted a woman.
No.
What?
Just based on
No. That is what women's studies professors say happens. But that isn't reality.
numbers.
What
It's
the
numbers.
fuck?
It's 1 in 4 men. So how
No, it's not. That is a falsified study. Liar. Misinformed. Puppet.
This is based on
No.
numbers. Sweetie.
Okay, I don't think that's fair
Sweetie.
to
No,
the men.
it's not
here.
1 in 4.
But you're
But
not
I
sexually
do-
active, so how would you know?
I do
Excuse me?
want to say something.
Let's
on
let.
that.
Okay, Grace, go ahead,
Just
and
real
then
quick.
we'll come back in.
I think I see where you girls are at with what Andrew Tate said and seeing it going through your head and then filtering it through that, seeing him as a child or like that's leading to that. I think though, if you really look at what he's saying and you really watch that, what he's saying is that he doesn't want an older woman who's been with a bunch of partners because he wants to be. I'm not siding with him completely, but I do think that he has a good point that men do want women who have less baggage.
Why? They don't want to be
because-
worshipped?
No, that's not why. Because it's biological in nature. It's not about wanting to be worshipped, idiot. It's because they want a girl who's a good bet for paternity. Lower end count means better bet for paternity. Means she's more likely to be loyal. Also, more likely to imprint on him as opposed to another guy. Less likely to be alpha widowed. More likely to stay in a marriage and so on. That's why.
Because no.
Why would a guy want a
Because
woman with
women-
less
Anyone here
baggage?
that's actually married, like, what the fuck? You guys
Because
don't even have
not
enough
that it's-
fucking like clout to say.
I get what you're saying.
You're the one that's married. Yes, you're the most stable of the bunch with all your tattoos.
I get what you're saying. That's why, like, it makes sense though for people like
I don't
Chase.
get it.
Yeah. People like Chase who would want somebody with a lower body count.
You're on the whatever podcast without your husband. You tell me if that's okay or not.
He's also now saving himself, so that makes sense because he's saving himself now, so he wants somebody else who's saving himself. Andrew Tate's not fucking saving himself. He's going out and probably fucking multiple women a day, so it's a little weird for somebody who wants somebody to be saving themselves when somebody's body count is probably over 300.
Are men and women the same?
Hold on though.
Are men and women the same?
Wait, hold on.
So you're
What
saying
you said,
men can go and have multiple partners, but
you
not
guys,
women.
Indeed. Even though it's much more likely for women to have multiple partners than men, statistically speaking.
Hold on. Everybody. Andrew Tate didn't say he wants a woman who's saving herself. He simply said that he wants a girl who has a lower body count and less baggage. Because
A 12-year-old.
No, that's not what he said. You person who's totally unable to argue in good faith.
That's not what he said.
No.
That's not what he said.
Not all of us.
That's
are.
not what he said.
He said like 18 to 26.
Brian, you can't even be mad about this. This is your fault.
What?
Again, it's really funny that they're laughing like 12-year-olds. Like, you're supposed to be on a podcast, and argue, debating or whatever. But when you act like a child, it makes it very hard to take you seriously.
No, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You can't accuse men who want legal of age women. You guys are accusing men who want legal of age women of being pedophiles. That is a crime.
If a 50-year-old man wants an 18-year-old, it's fucking
now
weird.
it's just evolving.
It's
First it was
because
mid-30s, now it's 50. You guys are making it more and more ridiculous.
It's like, for me, I'm only 22 years old, and when I see most 18-year-old boys, they literally look like children to me. They look like a whole fucking child.
That's because you're a girl. You're hypergamous. Lordy Lord. It's like arguing with a table.
That I could have birthed myself. When I see a
Women are
16-year-old
not-
boy, they literally look like.
Statistically speaking, women are attracted to men that are 4 to 6 years their senior on average. If you look at the statistics. So when you're 22 and you see an 18-year-old, biologically you're repulsed. Why? Because he's less likely to be able to support you, take care of you, and defend you.
Infants. Okay, I'm attracted to women too. If I see a
Oh, and by the way, she's solipsistic too. She fails to be able to see anything in a perspective other than her own. And she assumes everything that isn't her own perspective is weird, wrong, and bad. Which is, again, like, man.
16-year-old girl, I'm like, they still look like a fucking child.
We're not talking
They look
about
like a
16.
child.
We're not talking about 16-year-olds.
I know, but you're not getting my point. You're not getting my point. Okay, even an 18-year-old
Your point is you're solipsistic.
girl, now at 22 years old, I see most 18-year-olds, I'm like, holy crap, you look like a whole child, like a freaking infant compared to me. And I'm only 22.
Infant?
So that's why it's weird to me. Yes.
Okay.
Like off the bat, I
Let's
can
not
tell
get
that
into
she was
semantics. You know what she's trying to get at.
Women age and mature faster than men. So in 6 years, you've matured more than the average male has between 16 and 22. Because women have to make important life choices at a younger age, so they mature faster.
Thank you. Off the bat, I could tell that she was the youngest one in this room. Immediately. It was obvious. It was obvious. She carries herself very youngly. It's not something, even though she's only a year younger than me.
Shots
But no, but
fired.
seriously,
Youngly at 21.
you could just tell. Like, you could just tell. And if that's what you're seeking out.
Okay. I don't think she understands. What you're saying is that she doesn't have as much life experience, banging experience, as you. And therefore, she's inferior and she shouldn't be chosen by men because they should choose you. You're jealous. You don't understand why you're jealous. You're trying to tear men down because you're jealous. And ultimately it doesn't reflect poorly on the men. It reflects poorly on you.
It's weird to me. Point blank. Period.
You sound very triggered by it for some reason.
Indeed.
I do because it's. I know it's not all men.
How old are you?
But it's 22.
Okay.
But it's the men who try to act like it's not a big issue because
it's not an issue.
It isn't an issue.
It's not an.
Women saying men wanting young, pure women is rooted in bad stuff. It's like saying women wanting successful men is rooted in being broke 3 or 4s. It's biology. You're just mad the clock ticking and you're not pure. Exactly.
It's not an issue at all.
It's not. It's not.
We're literally like so many guys.
What are you trying to say? Philia is not an issue?
No.
Oh my lord. You cannot argue in worse faith than this. Utter ridiculous nonsense. Disaster. How many times must one repeat the same point over and over and still you can't understand?
You keep making it into
that isn't what they're saying.
But it's not.
That's what our whole conversation that we brought up. That's the conversation we're on right now.
You're trying to shame men for having preferences for younger women
by
labeling it something that's illegal. That's a classic shame tactic. Yeah. Nobody talked about having interest in women under the age of 18. We just said a lot of men prefer younger women. And you're like, that's fucking pedophilia. I think this is projection. You're probably
ad hominem.
Now let's move on to
projection.
You're probably.
Do you know what projection means?
So
then you're gonna accuse me of being a basic. Well, then it's like
no, I'm not accusing you.
I'm
not accusing you of being a pedophile. Okay. What I'm accusing you of is being triggered by this and trying to shame men because you know it won't work in your favor someday.
Maybe I'm so
Indeed. Not someday. Today.
Triggered by it from the time when I was underage and how many older men were trying to get at me.
Yes, but when you are dressing a certain way, acting a certain way, posting yourself online and in person a certain way, acting older than you are and so on, again, like, girls don't look that different between, let's say, 16 and 18 years old, and those older men don't know that. But you are advertising yourself as a girl of that age that wants men. So I don't understand. If you don't want attention, then don't post yourself in a way that attracts attention. If you do want attention, don't complain that you're getting the attention. I don't understand. Like, where is the logic that you're failing to see here? Where is the...
I couldn't even walk down the street.
We're not talking about the same thing. We're not talking about the same thing. We're talking about adult. We're talking about adult women here between the age of 18 to 25.
But calling an 18-year-old.
Oh my god. Disaster. You got to draw the line somewhere, right? Again, girls don't have infinite fertility.
Doesn't matter. It's still legal.
Yes, you're an adult.
Doesn't matter.
18.
Still legal. You're legally an adult.
How is
that? Sounds so gross. I feel so bad. Yup. It's all about your feelings.
You're legally an adult.
Okay, hold on. Let me. I want to come in on this. Hold on. Let me come in and I'll let you. Okay, so first off, at 18 years old, you can buy a gun. You can join the military.
Not all guns. So please.
Oh my god!
Can you stop?
Stop talking. Let him finish.
Okay, so at 18, you're an adult. You're legally an adult at 18. If you want to attach the teen to it at 18, 19, fine. But this is the thing: is that men are not allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries. It happens to be the case that men are attracted to younger women for a myriad of reasons. And when I say younger women, I mean women, adult women from 18 and up, okay? 18, let's say 18 to 25. They've done studies on this. They ask men of all ages, the peak attractiveness that they see in women is between the age of like 20 and 21. 20 and 22 is what men find the most physically attractive, that age range. It's kind of funny, like, men, we don't shame women for y'all preferences. You want a guy who's confident, rich, funny, charismatic, all these things, right? But men, we have different preferences than you guys do.
What's the age range on the men that you're talking about from this?
From 18 to 55.
Observation.
From 18 From 18 to 60, men
18
prefer.
to 60.
Yes, men find the most of the women that they find the most attractive. It's between 20 and 22.
What about the 65-year-olds?
It's the same. He showed a
Same.
little thing, and it's like basically it just stops
it's a
at like
chart.
22. Like they just stop finding women over the age of 22 attractive.
No, they don't stop. It's a normal distribution.
How old they get.
But it's funny, like men always get shamed for this. It's always met with some sort of contempt, disdain, shaming language, insecure.
Yeah, she webcammed when she was 18, but
I'm not going to use the
but
word.
women get
all
raped
this
a lot.
stuff.
If you wanted a girl with big titties and a fat ass, I would say that's your preference, dude. Go for it. It's a preference I understand that I have a problem with.
Okay, here's another reason why men buy it. There's an Evo Psych reason for why men care about a woman's age, why they prefer younger women. It comes down to fertility. Younger women are more capable for the reason why. Okay, let's say you're 35. Let's say you're a 40-year-old man. You're not going to, if you want to have a family, you want to have children, you're not going to pair with a 40-year-old woman because the likelihood that she's going to be able to bring a pregnancy to term is minuscule. So as a 40-year-old guy, you're going to be looking younger. You're going to be looking late 20s, 30s, in that age range. You're going to always be looking younger because for biological reality, women at a certain age can no longer bring a child to term. So it's on an intellectual level, like I can think, okay, I'm
literally men from the ages of 18 to 64 prefer women in the range of 18 to 24. For women, they typically prefer a man 4 to 7 years older. Get out of your feelings.
not going to try to date a 40-year-old if I want to have kids, but also it's an evolutionary thing. We look for indicators of youth, and that's what we find attractive.
I get that point, and I would say that's a good percentage of the reason why, whatever, but I would think it's unfair to say that's the majority, because like
It is the majority.
I think of the stereotypical, like huge age gap relationship, it's usually the divorced older man who already has his kids, an ex-wife who's now getting with the hot young 20-year-old.
Right, that's just polygamy, but over the lifespan. Right, that's what it is.
They don't even have kids 99% of the time. The guys who seek out these young girls, let me not say 99 because I know you guys are going to kill me for that. When I see most of these men with the younger girls, I honestly don't see most of them reproducing with them. Maybe on occasion, like on freaking Modern Family with Sophia Viagra, but usually
Viagra, yeah. Great job.
they're not having
Can
kids, but I get
something?
Go ahead.
Just so your thing about age gap, kind of like just doesn't resonate with me because my parents have a 22-year age gap, and my dad was a divorced grandfather when he met my mom, who was 22 years younger and engaged, and he broke up her engagement as a divorced grandfather. And
how old was your mom?
My mom was 30 and my dad was 50.
I think age gaps are automatically thrown out the window when 30 is involved.
Okay, I don't get that then. I don't know
because
why.
after
It's bullshit. Because she's, again, the only reason she's saying this is also for Evo Psych reasons. Because she is worried about the competition that younger women provide. So what? 40 and 20 is not okay, but 50 and 30 is? It's ridiculous. Like,
once you hit 30, you've gone through so much of your lifespan, and you're so far away from 18 and like.
So
being
do you
a
think
kid
women
aren't
truly adults until they're 30? Like they
no, I
don't
never
really have a
said
full
that.
life?
I never said that.
that's what she's implying.
I think that a lot of women under the age of 25 or closer to that point.
At 30, women and men and women are at basically at parity in terms of attractiveness. And then men go up and women go down, generally.
Have a lot in common with men who are 50 plus or whatever, and I think they do have.
Oh my god, this thing in common. Where do they all get this hive mind bullshit from?
More characteristics of just being young. I feel like once you're at 30, like especially my
You 3 or 4s would cheer a woman on that's doing OnlyFans and stripping at 18. But if a man wants it all, then all of a sudden she's a clueless damsel in distress is gonna be A-worded. Zero consistency in logic.
Coworkers that I know, once they're at 30, you're just at a more adult place in your life. Not everybody, obviously. Everybody's different. Everybody ages differently. But most 30-year-olds I know are at the same range as 40-year-olds and plus than my 25 and under friends that I know. So like, I don't want to be 22.
Solipsism.
Living in my dorm in IV with 8 people going on, and then my boyfriend is dropping off his 3 kids to school, or is going to be welcoming his, you know, grandchild or something. Like, it's just different realms.
We don't want that either. We don't want that either.
I'm not saying you do, but she was just bringing up the age gap. Why I don't think 30 is different, because I think somebody at 30 is doing different things than somebody at 22, 23.
I'd agree with that. I don't think the guys should, I don't think men should be shamed though for having those preferences. As a woman, I'll say that, because, and I don't think it's demeaning to women that they do. And the reason being is because it's biologically wired into them. So it's not them doing that to be, it's just a way.
Can I ask you a question?
It's, hold on, I'll let you come in really quick. Just to add to her point, it's rooted in biology and evolutionary. It's hardwired attraction traits. Go ahead.
So, but what about like the opposite? So if all these men of all these ages are all going for like the same age group, is there any like young men that are like, well, I don't stand a chance in hell. I'm not particularly rich and stuff. All I have is my youth. Is there any like, you know, like what about the sugar mama situation? Is there like
it's rare, but it happens. And yeah, that's actually how a lot of guys start off their bedroom fun journey. Because she's older and less competitive, so she goes for a guy who's younger and less competitive. Yeah, that does happen. Not as frequently, but it does and can. Alright, let's end the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all for notifications, drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian Olive, Tom and Bobby, Dylan, Renaissance Press, and Brian. Shout out to you, most recent Patreon subscriber. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. If you're interested in coaching, message me at theheliosblog@gmail.com. I'll slot you right in. My Patreon can be found at patreon.com/theheliosblog. Thank you so much for listening, guys, especially if you listen to the end. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.